back or to my channel. Today's video we are going to be talking all about bearded dragons. This is my bearded dragon. His name is Zeus. He is my 3-year-old male citrus bearded dragon. He's the first ever reptile I got, and my channel honestly kind of got started from Zeus and making bearded dragon videos, explaining information and care about them. So since all of this, of course, I've been asked on multiple occasions if I could possibly do a bearded dragon care video, and bearded dragons are extremely complex, so I don't really like to say a care video because that just kind of seems like, oh, here's all you need to know to go get one. But please, 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 I beg of you to do research on any animal you're getting, more than just one link, one website, one video, but especially bearded dragons, you need to know a lot about them. They are very prone to illnesses, they are very prone to having issues, they kind of have specific care, they need specific temps and humidity without getting sick or passing away. So please be aware of all this, and I am in no way, shape, or form trying to deter you from getting a bearded dragon because they are my favorite reptile that I care for, and I assume also Zeus is not going to want to sit around. He's gonna be on the move, so he might be in some clips. But with everything being said, let's jump in and start talking about bearded dragon care. Let's start off with enclosures. This is a lot to cover, but I'm going to try and make it as understandable and as simple as possible, even though there's practically nothing simple about a bearded dragon. Bearded dragons as babies are going to need anywhere from a 20 to 40 gallon aquarium, and this is what I would recommend for a 1 to 6 month old bearded dragon. They might get kind of stressed if they are under, 3 months or so being in a 40 gallon aquarium. But you could always just block off like a part of it so then it's equivalent to roughly 20 gallons, and then you can open it up as they age. But once they do turn over 6 to 8 months, I would completely recommend getting a 75 to a 150 gallon tank as an adult. And this may seem like a lot of space, like you might be like, oh my gosh, that is absolutely insane. Why would any reptile ever need that much space if they only get between 16 and 24 inches. But bearded dragons are very active, they like to move around, they like to go to different places, they get bored easy, and also they are not the smallest lizard you can buy. So if you're not going to want to get at least a 75 gallon aquarium as an adult, then maybe bearded dragons are not for you. Decorations in their enclosure should have a large basking spot, whether you have the heat coming from usually the top of the tank is where most people have it. So you want some type of piece of wood or something where they can climb on top to get a little bit closer to the heat. I have a awesome thing I got from PetSmart about 2 years ago for Zeus, and it's for fish. Actually, it's in the fish section. It was like 60 bucks, and he can walk up it great. There's like, it slowly goes a little bit higher, so if he doesn't want to be directly by the heat at the top, he can go down it, and I always notice he sits almost at the top, but it is great so that they can choose what they want to be and how warm they are. So I'd recommend something like that if you can. Otherwise, at least get some wood that can build up so they can get a little bit closer if they want extra heat. You're also going to want some decorations and enrichment in their enclosure. Bearded dragons, like I said, are fairly active and they are extremely intelligent animals. So for example, in Zeus's tank, I have his basking platform that I just showed you guys and explained. He also has a DIY shoebox that I made. So I took a shoebox and then I just cut a hole in it and I shaved it down so obviously it wasn't pokey, and then I put a little blanket inside of it. He loves to go in there sometimes when he wants to get out of the heat, or he just wants more darkness, and he actually hibernated in it last year. So I would recommend something like that. Otherwise, just a large hide or a hide that fits their size that they can go into if they do want to go into a darker area. You can also put like a hammock in their tank, or you can put, some kind of comfortable little area aside from like getting out of the heat, like something more in the open that's comfortable they can sit in as well. So these are just some things you're going to want in their tank, along with like some vines and some other pieces of wood laying around so they have things to climb on and do. And I would recommend switching up their tank and moving some stuff around every month or two just so they don't get too bored. Next is heating and lighting. I know it seems so confusing, but I promise you, once you get the hang of it, it is quite easy. You are going to need a basking temperature, so a bulb that is between 95 and 110 degrees for your bearded dragon. Some like warmer, some like colder. Zeus is kind of like 100-degree type kind of guy. He's definitely much more fond of a little bit of a lower temperature, but your bearded dragon might differ. I know a lot of beardies that like 110 or 115 degrees even, but you should not go over 115 degrees, otherwise they could get burned very easily. Then they will also need UVB. You do not want coil UVB, you do not want 5.0, you want a 10.0 Reptisun bulb, and they can range in size anywhere. I believe they come in as small as 18 inches and can go up as large as 48 inches. I would recommend it to cover about half of your tank, and you also want it to be by the basking spot so they can get UVB as well while they're basking. You should never make them pick and put UVB on one side and bask on the other. They should get it equally the same. As far as their lights go, I recommend a 12-hour cycle on and off. So during the day, I turn my pet's lights on roughly around 10 a.m. and I shut them off at 10 p.m. so they can have a full 12-hour day and night cycle. This is what is most recommended. It is as close as you can get to the wild, as the sun is usually up for about 10 to 12 hours a day. So I recommend doing this. But you can pretty much change the time to whenever you want. If you wake up at 8 a.m., you can turn them on at 8 a.m. You can turn them off at 8 p.m. You can, if you're more of a later riser, you can always get timers too if you have to, be up at like 6 a.m. to go to work or something like that, and that's kind of early for a bearded dragon. You can get timers that will turn on automatically and turn them off automatically as well if you can't be around to turn them on and off at a similar time every day. Diets. Their diet is kind of complex. They range as in age, so when they are younger they want more bugs than they do salad and vegetables and fruits. I'm not going to go too much into detail about their diets. I have a diet video I've made, and there's so many out there on different sites, and especially on YouTube. There's a lot of videos on here, so I recommend looking some up. I don't have anyone to personally recommend, but I'd look for anyone named like Taylor Crane, Emma Sampson, Emily Rose. They all have great videos. I'm sure I'm missing a lot of people, but those are a couple names that I can think of off the top of my head that I believe have made videos about diet. So I will just say, for babies, you are going to want to feed them once or twice a day. Subadults every other day, I would say, and adults every day to every other day. It's kind of up to you. I know a lot of people that feed small salads every day or a larger salad every other day, like myself. I do give Zeus food every other day, and it works for him. Otherwise, I did notice him when I did it every day for a couple months, he was starting to get a little bit overweight. So it kind of depends your bearded dragon and your schedule and what you want for them and how they react to getting fed every other day compared to every day. So just experiment with your bearded dragon and see which they like better. It's kind of more preference over which is best for them. Handleability, of course, right when you get your beardy, you do not want to handle it. I would recommend giving it 1 to 2 days at least to settle in. More like 4 days would be the best, but at least 1 to 2 days. Beardies tend to be quite docile. They tend to be quite friendly and calm. You, of course, will get the angry bearded dragon every once in a while, or the feisty guy. Especially for babies, they are probably going to be extremely nervous of a huge, large person picking them up, and they're so new to the world, they probably haven't had too much interaction with people yet. So you do want to just take your time, but adults tend to be more friendly, but also you just want to make sure, of course, before you get your bearded dragon, what you're getting your hands into, because I made sure that Zeus was friendly when I got him, as he was my first reptile. So just make sure that you know what you're getting into, and you can handle your bearded dragon. It kind of is up to your bearded dragon as well. A average friendly bearded dragon that enjoys coming out, I would say you could handle them 4 to 6 times a week, but some people think that's too much. Some people think every day they should get interaction, but Zeus comes out about 4 to 6 times a week for about an hour, and then I put him back in his tank because I don't want him to get too cold and be away from his heat and UVB too long. Some things that you should probably know about a bearded dragon: they live anywhere from 7 to 14 years. I know it's an extremely wide range, but it completely depends your bearded dragon's genetics, their care from when you have them, their past care, if they have been adopted from someone new or been rescued, if they have an illness that ends up coming down with that you could not prevent and you just didn't know it, or you did know it and they just couldn't get help. It just completely depends your bearded dragon and everything like that. But 7 to 14 years is the average, which is a pretty good amount of time. It's not like a hamster that lives 1 to 3 years. So please know what you're getting your hands into. So many people I constantly see 1 to 2 year old bearded dragon for sale, blah blah blah, because these people just can't care for them their whole life, and if you don't think you can provide that, I would definitely not recommend getting them. Don't add extra stress that they don't need. I also made an entire bearded dragon hygiene video, so I talk about baths, I talk about nail trimming, so you can watch that if you're interested. And please do research on how to properly bathe and clip bearded dragon's nails, because they can both cause infections, they can both cause death, illnesses if you do both wrongly, do both wrong. Please know that. But bearded dragons do need hygiene. They have a lot of things that you need to know about keeping them clean and healthy. So I recommend doing research on that. I'm not going to talk about it in this video since I already did that about a year ago. But this is all I'm going to cover. I hope I covered most of the questions and things you want to know. But again, please continue to do research. I'm so glad that you even started looking up this video or watching it if you are interested in getting a bearded dragon. And I will see you guys next time. I love you so much. All my social medias are in the description, so if you have other questions or concerns, you can message me on there or comment in the section below, and I will try to respond as quickly as possible. With everything being said, I'll talk to you guys next time, and I love you so much. Stay awesome. Bye guys.